Good afternoon,
Hello.
everyone, or good evening, or good tomorrow morning.
Yes, wherever
depending
you
on
are.
Hello, hello. I like that opening. I still like that opening song
Oh, I
there. It's
know. Isn't that great?
very catchy.
The boom,
Yes.
boom. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Very excellent choice of music there, Azure. Thanks.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so here we are. And first of all, thank you to Darren for jumping in at 8 a.m. this morning along with Azure, because apparently someone forgot that he was supposed to be on the 8 a.m.
No names
LiveCast.
mentioned.
I lied to you last night and said I'd be back to start the Heat 3 because I was tidying up the garage from the big sauce making yesterday, and I was just in the zone of getting things tidy, and it just completely wiped my mind. Left my mind.
Yes, well,
It happens.
it does.
It
Yeah.
happens.
Yes.
Yeah. So we want to know, how is everybody doing?
I've got
today?
one. I found one location,
You
which
me
is
both,
better than.
Greg. I've got one as well.
Okay.
Hey, we're in. We're on the scoreboard.
We're on the scoreboard.
On the
Better than
scoreboard,
beating was
that's
last weekend. Oh my.
That's right.
That-
Well, I was sharing with Greg before we started that I was on a roll last night for my heat. So I met my personal goal of how many I thought I would get done. I wanted to get at least 100 done, so I got that done. And so I'm spending time this afternoon just kind of going back and cleaning up some of the profiles that I added locations to. So
That's fantastic.
mhm.
That's
That's
great.
good stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Lisa's saying it's much easier than no dates. Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
we don't have full stats, but I can give you two numbers for stats. One is that we have, as of at the top of the clock, we had 108 people have now participated and added at least one location to a profile. Now, compared to the date diving last weekend, which was harder, we had 121 who actually participated in that whole event, but we still have 4 hours left.
We
So, we could have other people could come in from the bright sunny weather or whatever and come and do a few profiles. But we've already surpassed the total from last week's date diving event. That event had 2,761 profiles had dates added. And we already have 3,812 profiles that have locations added.
Woohoo!
Goodness.
Good stuff.
We're doing very well. So locations are much easier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have to read a comment to you from one of my teammates. Hello,
Okay.
Heavenly Hemlocks. And so Stephanie lamented earlier on today that she just doesn't understand why, if you have like 5 censuses, 5 census records that all indicate someone was born in a particular state, the profile creator just didn't put that state as the birth location. And you know what? This is my comment to her, was because they knew you would be participating in the wiki games and would do it for them.
I like your answer.
Really? Okay. So the censuses all said the location, but they didn't actually fill it in under birth.
No, that's what she's saying. So in the actual profile, yeah, they did not fill it in. And I said, well, obviously they were just waiting for her to do it.
Waiting for her to do it. That's right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the parents could have crossed the state lines, gave birth their cousin's house, and then come back.
Possibly. Who knows?
Really?
Yeah. Now, I'm going to say I've been a little bit, I don't know if this is allowed. So I don't know. Am I gaming the system? Am I cheating? I don't know. I'm piggybacking on some of the work I did earlier in the games, right? So like I put in the date, but I didn't put in the location because I knew this was coming.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I've got one done today, so it's not like it's gonna. It's not like I'm gonna be in the middle contention here. I'm not. Nobody has to worry about me taking the gold away from them.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's. I mean, you knew you were going to come back and finish it off, so you were not going to ever leave it
Yes.
No, I've got a list. I went
Yeah.
back through, and the ones that I've been adding, I've got a Word document, and I've been
Mhm.
just clicking on the URL on the profile, plopping it in that Word document, so I have it. So now I can go back and
Yeah.
find the
And
missing
find the ones,
data,
yes.
and so
Yeah.
hopefully, I mean, it's not. I mean, the profiles aren't, completely filled out in the bio section, but there's enough there
Right.
that if a descendant wants to come back in and complete that part,
It's for them.
we
Yeah.
have the birth date, we have the location, we've
Yeah.
got at least one source,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And I've got them connected to somebody
Yeah.
in the
That's
tree.
good.
So
Yeah.
that's our goal,
Yeah.
is to
Let's
have those 4
improve
things
those
done.
connections.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
working on birth certificates from North Carolina. Or the death certificates, sorry, from North
Mhm.
Carolina. There's a great collection on Family Search of death certificates. So I would look people up in the death certificates and get their birth location. So that was fun to do. I could focus on one state and then just kind of go
Nice.
through them methodically.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Good.
Oh, do you
Do we
see
have any
Azure's comment? More than
where's Azur's comments?
2 million profiles without locations.
Wow.
Wow, that's a lot.
That'll keep somebody busy.
Yes.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we see any questions in the chat?
Let's see. Someone's asking about find a source. I mean, find a grave as a source. Let's see. Was that? Oh, it was Lisa. Okay.
I think if I remember correctly, if it actually has a picture of the tombstone or grave marker, then it can count as I don't know if you count that a primary source, but it counts as a valid source. I think if
Right.
it's just a memorial with just some information that's been entered by someone, but there's no actual proof that there's a grave there, or because you can set up memorials on Find a Grave, right?
Yes, you
Without a
can.
physical grave to go along with it. So I think if you have the picture, then I think that makes it more of a valid source.
And I think for purposes of birth and death, Find a Grave doesn't source the location of birth or source the location
No.
of the death. It sources the
No.
burial location, right?
It sources the burial.
Yeah.
Now, I think some tombstones are very wordy and may actually say,
Yeah, they may say it.
And fancier ones might even put it in a poem somehow, but
Yeah, I did find one grave marker a couple days ago on a line I was working on, and the descendants had purchased a very large marker. And I'll tell you, if you were a descendant of this family, you want to talk about hitting the burial marker lottery.
yeah.
It was for the founding one of the founding settlers in a particular place. I'm not going to give too much detail because it has to do with Melanie's lineage. But I will say that it gave all the descendants.
Nice.
And then the bio section of it, the person had put in a lot of biographical detail about the descendants and the settlers of this particular place. And of course, no actual source information, but there's enough information there that you can go and, if you're familiar with researching in that particular area, you'll know where to go based off that information to start really digging into research. And it was all like, ooh, what a find! What a find!
Yeah, that sounds incredible.
That's great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Azure has a note here that you can put in a scenario like that. Well, maybe not like what yours sounds pretty definitive, Catherine, but the question earlier about Find a Grave, you can put the death location as uncertain if you're not really sure, and explain in the research notes section. And I think in this one and in the date event, use of those research notes to justify how you came up with an estimated date or an estimated location are really important.
Yeah, because it helps the next person pick up where you left off.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Amanda's got a trick. She puts a personal category. You put it on over 142 profiles over 2 weekends, and that way she knows how to go back and clean up. So that's very handy.
Yes, I like doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's something I don't know how to do. Like,
Oh,
how do you? No,
I
how
could
would you?
I could show you that if you want.
That would be
Yes.
terrific. I'm sure I'm not alone.
No, you
Like,
wouldn't be
how do
alone.
you? How do you create a personal category? I understand why you would want to do it, but I don't know the actual method of doing it.
Okay, well, since you asked,
Since I asked.
let me just share. So the idea is, you can create, there's lots of categories for different, cemeteries and locations and all that sort of stuff. But you yourself can create a personal category, and the advantage of that is, just like other categories, it's a way of grouping profiles together that you want for one reason or another. So, for example, I worked on, I had some friends who I taught with, and where do I want to go? If I go to my nav page, I think I can show you. And their last name was Hennessy, and they were going back to, so Pat has retired, and he and his family were going back to visit Ireland last summer. And they asked if I would do some genealogy background to sort of flesh out their family tree, so they'd have some places that they can go visit. So I created a project page and a category. So I put all of these profiles in that category. So you can see there's the Hennessy project.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I added a profile, I put it in that project so that they'd all be grouped together, so I could see how they were, and that was as they're growing. So if you go back down to it, so a personal category starts with your WikiTree ID, and then a dash, and then whatever name you want to give it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if I wanted to create a new so let's see, where was the profile I just went? If I go to my contributions, this is the one location I added. So Joseph Amidar Lefebvre. He was estimated that he was born in 1859, and that's all it said. Didn't say a location, but it did have his wife. So from that information, I was able to track down who he was, and actually who his parents were. No, actually his parents were already on the profile. So I'm going to add, let me go into edit mode here. So I'm going to add a category.
Okay.
I'm going to make one up right now.
Okay.
And so it starts off just like all categories with do they start with a double or a single?
Double. I think this is double.
Double.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was guessing myself. So it starts off with
but now that you asked that question, I'm thinking,
okay. Azure will tell me if I'm doing this right.
Yeah, it starts with the word category. Put the word category.
Yeah, so it starts with the word category. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Double. It's double, Greg. I just went and looked at another profile that had
so word category, and then
colon. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's been a while since I've actually made one. And I haven't made it under pressure in front of, millions of people. Okay. So you start off with your own WikiTree ID, then a dash, and then whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to say Wiki Games.
Okay.
Profiles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. I made a Wiki Games category, personal category.
Okay. And I'm going to save that. And then I'm just going to, now that's the only change I've made. And so I'm going to save that, and I'm just going to say categorization.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Full save. Now I need to go down. Let me zoom out, because I'm pretty sure there's a message here that I need to. Category problems were found. You can add a category by clicking this category does not exist. So the very first time you try and create a new category, it's going to say, "What are you doing, buddy? This category doesn't exist. Are you dreaming? Are you on something?" Well, it doesn't say those words exactly, but
we like those words. Yes.
But I do want this one to be a category, so I'm going to hit save anyways.
Okay.
Okay. And now if I go down to categories, it's there, and see how it's in red. I don't know if you can zoom in again.
Yes, we can see it's red. Mm-hmm.
Can you see it's red?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I have to zoom in that big to tell the difference between the red and the green, because I've got a little red-green color blindness happening. Mm-hmm. So if it's smaller, like if it's like that, I can't tell
Okay.
what
It's
color
red.
red.
It-
But if
it's
there's enough
definitely red.
ink, I can tell the difference. But that's here and there. If it's red, it means that you've called it a category, but there's nothing really there yet to prove it. So I'm going to click on that, and then it will take you to this page. And this will only happen once, and you'll just say,
Okay.
you just have to put something. This is my category for Wiki Games profiles. Deal with it. You don't have to be snarky.
Yeah.
Well, give a little bit of attitude.
Okay, so, and there I have one person on the category. So if I go to someone else, let's see, where's my challenge? Okay, so if I want to do this guy next and find his, so I will find this person's birth date and put him in. So I'm just going to do the same thing, category. Just going to add the same thing.
Okay.
107 Wiki Games profiles. Categorize that. So you see now the second profile, and everyone from here on in didn't give me a message, didn't say, "What are you talking about, buddy?"
Right.
But the category is here, and when I click, and it's green. See,
Right.
it's green.
Yeah.
And when I click on it, now I will have two profiles in there.
Now there's one more step you need to complete, though. You need to categorize this to your personal tag, your Clark11007, so that it shows up with all your other personal categories.
Ooh. Okay.
So if you edit, if you click on the edit for this category.
For this category, where's the edit button here?
It's on the other side of your screen on the right side. There's an edit. Lower down. Bring your mouse down lower.
Here. Yes. Edit. Okay. Thank you, Tanea. Okay. And
all right, and then you categorize. So you put a category into this box of your personal name, Clark-11007.
So I have to go category : Clark.
Yes.
11107. Oh, man, see, it's been a while since There we go.
All right.
All right.
Wow. This, it will be grouped with all your other personal categories.
And then it belongs to this higher level category.
Oh, okay.
There's my Hennessy project that I told you about. There's this one I created. And then I created a category for when the Canadian census came out in 1931.
Yes.
I went through all of the existing profiles that I should add to. And I actually broke it down by township.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, wow, that's organization.
Isn't that
right?
Yeah. Look at that.
That's impressive.
That's my grandma.
All right.
Right there. Yeah. So
good stuff.
That's how I use personal categories.
Yeah.
So you know, I learned something new.
Very nice. Yeah. It's just very helpful to go back and clean up things, as it was noted in the comments, to group similar profiles that you want to track for a while. When I found out about the personal categories, I was head over heels.
This is new. I didn't know how to do that. I've heard people speak about it, but I didn't quite understand. I thought, I'm going to jump on this right now and ask about it. So thanks. That's fun.
Yeah.
Better organization.
Oh, I see. Oh, Azure was prompting me from the sidelines too. Thank you.
I just looked over and she's got everything laid out right there, which is nice because if you want to come back and watch this again, or if you missed it the first time around, Az has got everything right in there in the chat as well.
That's right.
So they can follow along as Greg demonstrates it on the screen. Because that's me. I'm going to need both because I'm going to have to come back and watch this again because I'll be like, how did he do that?
That's right.
So I'll be coming back to watch this one again for sure. So that's really helpful.
Good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, that was a neat diversion. But I think that was helpful. Okay. Any other questions that came up?
Let's see.
Anything right here.
Don't see any questions.
I don't see any questions.
All right. People have been working though, so that's great. We have a few more hours before this third heat is over. We get to
That's right.
get our closeout and our closing ceremony later tonight.
That's right. So 3 hours and 40
everything up.
minutes from now will be the ending of this event, and we'll have a quick live cast to announce the winners of this, and then an hour later will be the closing ceremonies, and we'll find the big winners of the whole
Right.
Olympics, the Wiki Games.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent.
All
Well,
right.
way to go, folks.
All right.
And for those in Heat 3, keep on going. 4 hours
Keep on
left.
going. Add those locations.
At those
All
locations.
right. We'll see y'all later.
Yeah.
Bye.